This is Beige, live from Hollywood. You watching 2SEATER Radio.
Two-seater.
Check. We live from the 2SEATER headquarters. Another episode of 2SEATER Radio. Real good friend with us, Brand. You know what I mean? One of the fashion gods.
You threw that shit all the way.
No. Yeah, I had to try it. You know, a little at least. You know what I mean? A little YSL. You know what I'm saying? Introduce yourself. Let them know who's sitting here on the couch today.
Oh man, it's Beige. It's a pleasure to be here. Out here in LA, I'm from Philly. You know what the deal is. Tapping in with my East Coast people. So yeah, on the West Coast.
Why has it been so hard to get Beige on the show? Beige is supposed to be on the show within the first 10 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta get around.
You gotta answer, bro. Let's spin up.
Sometimes I'm around. I'll be moving, man. But obviously this past year I've been able to kind of condense myself and stay tuned a bit and stay put a bit. So. Yeah, man. You just gotta catch me sometimes. That's all.
It's been good reason for real. Just like watching you move from. It hasn't just been through the states. Country to country.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your world travel and what kind of work you've been doing within these different countries and just like how you would title yourself within the fashion space.
Yeah, it was definitely a pleasure to be able to like travel and stuff like that, especially in different places. Definitely been blessed early on to be able to travel too. So those type of experiences allowed me to kind of have a different kind of mindset on things, but just taking that traveling in a different sense. So I guess like as you're younger, it's like more like subconsciously you're just kind of moving there, seeing stuff, seeing places. But then once you get older, you get to tend to like really visit these spaces in different capacities on your own, So seeing it that way without being without family or whatnot, can give you some different visions. So so started seeing that, and then going from there, it was brought me to spaces where I'm
What kind of work were you doing? And it's like when you would go to these countries, what kind of work were you focused on?
So before, just regular traveling, but then was blessed to be able to like work for a company that had the opportunity to be in Paris Fashion Week.
Mm-hmm.
A few times being out there to see certain brands, see certain fashion shows as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just having work be situated there is kind of was definitely a crazy thought and headspace at that moment. And was definitely blessed at a time that joining a space like you, Big, was very instrumental in that, in the way we were growing in that capacity. So and then creating stories and being able to go out to South Korea and Tokyo. So I think the openness of those kind of environments is something that is actually very important. I think just in the creative space too, in general, you definitely see a lot of different creative people these days of collaborating in different ways, but also bringing themselves into different communities, involving themselves in some capacity just through their artwork or whatnot, So that's what it kind of ends up being, a collective of people coming together for a week of it's work, but it's also it's connectivity that you have with people. Everyone has their own kind of thing to do, but you get to also see and type in with it, doing work, but also being in a different environment,
What was your? I think I kind of know, but like, what was your introduction to like fashion and brands?
What was your childhood like? Was it always fashion?
Nah, I don't think so. Honestly, not really. Like it really wasn't not anything like to. I think I was maybe understood something, where my parents they have some good taste. They had better taste when they were younger for sure, before me, no doubt. I always tell them that, seeing like old photos of them and like some really like, 70s, 60s, I'm like, damn, like you guys were actually like killing it. You guys were styling, and then like, I don't know what happened, but they came with the trends, because like the 90s was like, kind of all over the place. At least for the mass majority of people, you know, they was really wearing some. Yeah, it was a bad time, definitely. So, you know, they kind of joined in that period of time. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I would say, you know, growing up in like Mount Airy and stuff out in Philly, you know, in that neighborhood, if people know, it's like I always connected to like the Queens of like New York in some capacity.
Okay, you compare Mount Airy to Queens?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
To a certain degree, in regards to like how the proximity of it, you know, is, and how the change of it is from like another part of the city. Obviously, it's not like too far away, but it feels far away when you get there, you know.
Yeah,
so, you know, always like interconnected with the city. But then I think probably for me, once Abacus opened up, that's where
and that's
everything
what I was
started.
say. I feel like P's and Q's Abacus kind of was like when I started seeing you in that world of like brands and like I don't know who you want to call it, streetwear or whatever, sneaker world. But I just feel like that whole entire community. When I started seeing you in that type of like space, people who share that type of interest.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that was like really like a space that people could be at, you know, at a certain age. You know, I mean, it opened in 2008. So there was other places, you know, Ubik was in the gallery still. Ubik had a spot on Walnut. There was like, you know, Mitchell and Ness was somewhere where people were going to, but then there's a couple other skate joints over there that people had communities already. So there were spots that had communities, but to be honest, I think, you know, when you're in Philly at that point, like you just see what, you know, is in the malls. That's what you kind of knew. And I don't know how you had the loophole on the internet back then like that, you know, buying stuff off the internet, but that was just starting up at that point too, you know, so you really had to be in it. So I don't think there was never an introduction. So I think that introduction was Abacus for me, you know, starting that, seeing something different, all West Coast basically brands. So then you kind of open your eyes open to there, and then, you know, the internet started really growing in that regards, like online stores, stuff like that you could see. So I feel like around then, you know, but I feel like the store like that really changed the game. And also being in Chinatown, like somewhere super random, you know what I mean? But
it exposes you to cultures beyond just the culture you see on a regular basis. So from there, you went away to school. I know you went to New York. What did you have the idea when you was going away and you leaving home and saying, okay, I'm about to pursue like a professional career? What was your original idea of what you wanted to do?
Man, sports management. That's what I was doing. Yeah, sports management, St. John's. St. John's. You know? Yeah. You know, I was trying to be a little GM, but you know, I was really, I honestly like just like wanted. I thought that was I wanted something that I was really interested in when I did major, you know, and that's what I had in mind at that point. So yeah, going out to Queens, like not too long, you know, far away. I was about to go to Arizona, but you know, I didn't know if I was gonna want to get in that much trouble out there. So
like Wildcats?
Yeah, out in Tucson. But it's like, what are you gonna do in, you know? The thought was like, what are you gonna do in Tucson in your junior year? You know, like I can do some stuff, but like at that point, it's like you want to be moving on to something else maybe, and you would be, you know, seeing something else. So yeah, I mean, Queens, you know, St. John's, easy application, man. But you know, I just really, I thought sports management was it, and it was cool. I think there's a lot of aspects of sports management that are great. It was easy for me to go to classes because I'm actually interested.
Did you apply any of that in like what you do within, you know, the world that you currently work in that sense?
I think there was definitely some learnings about like, you know, marketing and space and structure and how things worked out. I mean, I was doing some like internship with the union, with the soccer team out there. So seeing that side of it, seeing the corporate end, but you know, as a fan, you never really know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a fan, you're just watching every time. You're watching, you know, you know, teams. So you don't understand, like, you never see that corporate side of things. Where they're looking at it as like entertainment. While, you know, some players might look at the same thing, but some players also out there like they trying to get a bucket. You know, like that's what they're worried about. You know, they understand everything coming around them. You know, the atmosphere and stuff like that. But
what was your introduction to beach?
Probably in and around Abacus because of Shaq though.
Shout out to Shaq.
I don't know, it might even
still don't have a
like
t-shirt.
show shit or like around Adrian or so. I can remember like being around doing Adrian in space like years ago, like high school type shit.
So was you guys were tapping into Abacus too, right?
Sure.
You was too. Yeah.
I thought that shit was cool, man. Just
that shit was a whole nother world.
Yeah, it was like where we was tapping in at that early internet phase, like you talk about, and then just seeing like the cool blog shit, and then like seeing people like Great Outdoors and the side and get to come through there and like perform. It was just like it was so locally groomed. It was like if you know, you know, but it was really hot. And then it was mixed with the fashions, and like at the time the cool kids was cool, so you could get retro J's and shit from there, and like I don't know, like all of that shit. It was just coming together at that perfect storm of time. Yeah, bro, that shit was hard. So like,
what is there any place that you've been to that like stands out in terms of style?
In terms of style,
Just like,
I mean,
you walk around and everybody just like
casually
got that shit on.
Yeah, domestically for sure, New York. I think still gets it.
Yeah.
I think the basic people, like their style is so like pure, so good. Yeah, it's on point. Like people like just have from like people's uniforms to just I don't know, for some reason there's there's just local people there that are in those neighborhoods, and then the way they're dressing every day in and out, it's like you kind of find these characters when you really get to think about it. That's the way like LA's like kind of like that. There's a lot of characters out there, So if you think about it in that way, that those type of energies, like those type of people, but I don't know. I think the way like New York like dresses, is so purely is really. I think it's a cool thing about it. I think. I gotta, you gotta give it to Tokyo.
Okay.
And London's got it too, but like Tokyo really, I think, I always say like they're not, they don't have any boundaries, They really don't have any boundaries, bro. Like people been doing like, changing seemingly at this point, like, going back into changing your hair colors or different things like that, but there's things over there that you see that people like from all age ranges will do, like changing their hair color or having something different, like being unique, is I think that the boundaries and not having that on it style wise is super like, I don't know, embrace that, embrace that over there. It's crazy over there. It's real wild. Yeah,
it's like inspiring. Like you get new ideas just from looking at people and shit.
Yeah. From even just walk. Like I would walk around like sometimes late night, just walk around in the city and just see stuff, and see things and just super quiet, but just seeing the space and how it's like mapped out, how it's designed out. It's really designed for the people, for people at this space. There's not tall skyscrapers, engulfing you. The designs are like meant for people, in a space like that. So so I'm actually doing working on a book right now from like the Tokyo and Seoul. So I have like shot a bunch of imagery. We shot for Adidas, Ubik, Crazy BYW collab out there, and I stayed out there for like 10 days.
So that's something y'all gotta look out for. How soon? When do you think you're dropping it?
I think I'm dropping it by May.
Okay.
Yeah, probably, most likely.
Definitely support.
In May.
One of the segments we do on the show, we happy to finally have you with us. We've been trying. We on episode, we in like the 80s, 90s by the time this joint dropped. But we were trying to get you to 10, so we do a quick communion of shots, bro. I want to hand you yours. We do a quick shot of clock. So thank you for coming on. I mean, rocking as we continue. We're going to continue the conversation, but let's just get this in. Yeah, look at it. So what you got on today, bro? No, not yet. That's why the cup's facing this way.
Alright, yeah.
Somebody tap in. Somebody tap in.
We got free slots, you know what I'm saying?
So talk about the outfit you got on today. I see some homies, on. But what you rocking today?
We're gonna go bottom up, because we're not gonna top down,
no cops in here. So what we wearing today? We wearing some Asics, Asic joint, regular joints, gel Cayanos. I think they tough. But Kiko, the Bulgarian designer, been working on some stuff. So he got like a little design tab right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the all cap socks, you know the vibes, all caps and the socks. And shout out to my man Billy Fisher works at Asics. He out in Japan, but yeah man, Asics been running up. People definitely sleeping on them. I feel like I just grabbed another pair too from somewhere in DC.
Store's called somewhere. Yo, he like somewhere in DC. I'm like, wait,
Yeah,
somewhere in DC is the store in DC.
The store.
Shout out to that store.
Yeah, and these pants, man. A good friend of mine, Ev, who runs Who Decides War. Ev Bravado. His girl Taylor works with him too. Great black-owned fashion brand. I mean, luxury brand right now too. These joints is crazy, bro. Yeah, godly shit. Yeah. So he was doing. He had a couple shows. I seen him in Paris. Like during the time, I seen him have a little pop-up, and then have 2 shows. I think he had 2 shows, and yeah, they're phenomenal, man. I mean, he just he puts a lot of work into his his brand and his storytelling, and has a great team behind him. So yeah, if you check that out, he's done some work with Virgil and Off-White. Yeah. He designed some inline stuff. I think maybe for the past 3 seasons with them too. So drops them. So yeah, he's been crushing it, man.
Yeah, no, I'm hip, but I'm sure he's been I've been seeing his name. He's been getting shouted out more by like artists and rappers and shit. So it's like starting to catch that wave, that momentum. And then you got all kinds of
Flea.
Yeah, Flea just shouted him out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Flea, man. That's Queens right there too.
Yeah.
So then the hoodie is with the side.
Yeah, all cash.
Shout out to Saeed.
Shout out to Saeed. Shout out to my boy Saeed. Yeah, he just dropped the crazy stuff on this Friday too. Yeah, you seen that with the Carhartt joints?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. And some cups, some mugs, and like some other shit.
Yeah, people should definitely watch out for him, man. I mean, that's another.
Going crazy. I think it's like he's like solidifying himself.
I met him at Abacus too. He got that internship in like 2010.
Yeah.
And then he was working with Shaq too at the time. So it was
Shaq always says, I'm the one who hired Saeed. If it wasn't for me, Saeed wouldn't even be where he is. That's like his claim. That Shaq's like claim right now.
Shout out to Saeed.
Shout out to Saeed, yo. What do you look for when you see like you talk about Lord Bravado and like all caps and Saeed, like what kind of things stick out to you with young designers and people that are building brands make you say, yo, like you saw him in Paris Fashion Week 3 years ago and you see what's happening now, like what are the qualities or traits that you like, I think this is something I need to look forward to in the next 5 years because it's about to go crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this like just in regards to certain people from my end, certain people, especially in this kind of time that we're in. And I think there's obviously like a really beautiful space where we can provide like content and show people what we've been doing and show what we do. But also there's some smoke and mirrors there too, because that's not all what it is about. And the longevity end, I think. Like Saeed, right? Like, and he's been working, for like 10 years or so, in the industry right now. So even more than maybe now 11. You know what I'm saying? So like in that regards, for him to get to this position and have his brand where it's at, like he's been working a lot in it too. So and putting that time in. But I think the most important part is authenticity for me. Like I don't know, especially these brands like what Ev's doing. If you meet him, you understand like it's authentic. It's not coming from left field. You know what I mean? Like he really, he knows, he's meticulous with his thing. He knows what he's doing. He lives and breathes it too. So I think these designers that do that is very, definitely inspiring too. You need to be around that kind of energy as well and seeing them. I just think that's still like. Takes a lot of account, takes a lot of weight, being authentic, especially as a designer, I think, is like super, I I don't know, I still think it like carries a lot of weight, more weight than what numbers might say. So that's something that I think that like people like that always definitely look up to and fortunate enough to be around. So yep. And then let me see. Oh yeah, man, this is tough. I mean, the Yankees fitted, Phillies for sure, but they didn't make a Phillies one. But these are my homies, man. Let's Do Better.
Okay.
So they did a hat. They did a Yankees, they did a Dodgers joint, and a White Sox joint. And they
Yeah, here or they in New York.
they're actually it's three different people based in different places. One in LA, one in Chicago, one in New York.
Let's Do Better is what's called.
Yeah, Let's Do Better. Yeah, they've been doing some they've been doing a lot of projects to raise money though too. So and they're kind of raising creating tools for Black education, Black empowerment as well. So this is from the David Hammond's flag that they did. So it's all changed to embroidery. They killed these joints, so a lot of people were having them. But also like they just did a collaboration with Lycan, which is a furniture store out in Brooklyn. So they provided some bookends, and they were providing books specifically on like Black empowerment, Black spirituality, education. So yeah, so they've been doing giving back to the community in those ways. I think is really powerful too. Especially
that's hard. That's hard. I love to hear shit like that.
Yeah.
I feel like ultimately, as we like wrap it up, it's like I want to know what's Beej's ultimate goal, within this space, or what kind of change or what kind of needle do you want to push, say when you on your way out, what kind of what's the goal for you?
I mean, I think everyone, personally, it's just, you always try to, figure things out. But I think also just seeing how things come organically, in that way. So moving forward, with a photography mindset, but at the same token, like just seeing things, in different ways. I mean, I think you approach things differently as you experience things, right? You garner that knowledge from your experiences, that create your perception of things too. So, I think channeling in a little more seamlessness of everything, right? There's a lot of connectivity that's not even like, that I don't think is seen. It's not seen on the surface level, but people don't kind of connect to that as much as they should, in that capacity. So.
And bridge to kind of help expose or
showcase some through some work, through some visual work too, so
definitely look out for the book, that'll be a good entryway.
Yeah, got some garments coming through too, man, soon, finally, just some fun stuff too, so that actually,
let them know where to follow you, keep up with you. I mean, a lot of people hit, a lot of people that need to be getting hit,
Yeah, man.
Keep up.
I don't know if you're gonna catch me, but you can follow me at on Instagram too.
Definitely not gonna catch you.
Tag me. I'll be in the cut a lot, so holding it down. But yeah, things have slowed down now, so I'm not that crazy right now. But you can catch me on the gram. Check out and watch out for Beautiful Chaos too, coming soon. So. Yeah, I'm excited to share that with the world too, Shout out to my brothers, man, in LA, making dreams happen.
Thank you for coming through. It's a long time coming, bro.
That Philly energy we built a little different.